So most people are familiar with the concept of tikkun olam, which is translated typically as repairing the world. And there are many different movements, many different causes, and good movements and good causes that can fall under that umbrella of tikkun olam, of repairing the world. Most of them, as we discuss it in modern language, have to do with the physical world that we're in. The environment, ecology, saving various species from extinction, and other forms of healing the planet. Judaism in general speaks about the importance of taking care of the world that we live in. One of the outcomes of the opening of the Torah, which tells us that God created the world, is this idea that the world is created very intentionally by God. See, if you believe that the world just kind of evolved and by happenstance just came about to be what it is, well, then there's no real indication that it's intentional, or really any reason to believe that we have a responsibility, like an absolute responsibility, outside of what we choose to assign to ourselves. But according to Judaism, according to the Torah, there's an absolute responsibility that we have, because we're living in God's beautiful world. We're living in God's beautiful garden. And so when we talk about the environment, when we talk about doing things that might hurt the environment, or doing things that protect the environment, so sometimes these ideas have been politicized, or there's a question of, who is pro the environment and who is not pro the environment. But from a Jewish perspective, it doesn't fall on within these binary definitions. The world is created by God. God created this world in 7 days, created in 6, rested on the 7th. God creates this beautiful world precisely for a purpose, and put us here for a purpose. And the purpose is to fix the world, to make it a better place. So it becomes almost impossible for us to justify a behavior that would in any way harm the environment. This is true based on classic Torah teachings, as well as based on Kabbalah. Kabbalah, which teaches us about the spiritual impact that our actions have, and the practical impact that all of our actions have. Kabbalah and the Zohar, which paints a holistic picture of life, that everything that we do physically affects the spiritual realm, and everything that we do spiritually affects the physical realm, certainly promotes this idea that our actions matter, and our actions within this world make a difference, and it's our job to benefit the world and not in any way to harm the world. There's also a uniquely Jewish and Kabbalistic understanding of tikkun olam that is not limited to the physical environment, but also includes the idea and the notion of elevating the spiritual sparks that are within creation. This is an idea that originates in Zohar and is enhanced or really taken to the next level by the teachings of the great Arizal, Rabbi Isaac Luria, the great Kabbalist of the 16th century. And the Arizal says that the world contains sparks, potential for holiness everywhere. And every time we study Torah or do a mitzvah, we elevate those sparks and literally fix the world from its spiritually broken state to a spiritually holistic state. What I would add is that the two aren't in contradiction to each other. There is spiritual healing, there's physical healing, and if we think about the world in a holistic fashion, then perhaps we can bridge the two together and recognize that one enhances and complements the other.
If you like that video, hit the subscribe button and notification bell below for hours of the best Jewish content online.